This is your Daily 5 for Thursday, December 4th, 2025. I'm going to credit this 5 to writer Mike Elgan, who posted a question over on Bluesky in reference to a Futurism.com article talking about AI slop in the latest season of Fortnite. Now, I have not seen a confirmation that this is actually in there from the company itself, but it's almost certainly true. And this coincides with comments from Epic CEO Tim Sweeney, who basically said that he didn't see any reason to let gamers know if there's AI in their video games because ultimately it's just something that's going to be there. They need to deal with it, and it really doesn't make any difference. There's no benefit to that. And so, of course, this is now the latest kind of debate firestorm within the AI advocate versus AI, I don't know what the other side would be called, doomers, I guess, or anti-AI folks. And as I've said all along, I am relatively neutral when it comes to this as a general category. I think there's very good uses of AI, and I think there are very, very terrible uses of it. The good uses are generally not anything to do with creativity, but instead efficiency, data analysis, the kind of things that make sense to almost anybody. And then when you get into the creative space, I have seen little evidence that any of these tools actually add anything. They don't tend to actually speed up workflows. A lot of people say that they do. They do result in imagery, video, audio that all sounds very, very similar and is not going to get any better because there is no intuitive creativity in the tool itself. And so I think what you're talking about when you get into the creative space is it ultimately is going to be the detriment of what we as humans enjoy. Not even because of jobs, although there certainly will be that impact, but because what we will be seeing. There are already people who complain that all the movies we get now are very similar, that a lot of music sounds the same, that a lot of things all seem the same. And of course they do, because many of the people in control of these creative properties are just chasing each other, and whatever trend became popular for 5 minutes on whatever service their children happen to be on and tell them about. And that's why there's so much of this sameness. And that's only going to get worse because if machines get involved, they won't even accidentally stumble into something that's creative. If all they're doing is producing what seems to be popular based again on algorithms and trends, it's all just going to become white noise. And much like the tools themselves, this is the fundamental problem. And this is a variation of something I've said before, but it bears repeating. So I'm just going to say it again in a new context. It's not the tools that are the problem. It's the intent and the use by the people who will ultimately control them. And I'm reminded of the fact that this is just the newest form of technology that right now a lot of people are really optimistic about. And they're not thinking about the fact that ultimately the control of these types of tools, especially when there's as much money involved as you know there will be, not only in terms of investment, but in terms of actually gaining money by using these as ways to cut down on costs, meaning lay off human beings. When there's money involved, do you really think these tools are going to be accessible to the people on the bottom end of the spectrum, meaning the people who do the actual work for very long? I don't think they will. They're going to start costing a lot more. And in fact, the best versions of them, like many things now, will be reserved for those who can afford the price tag. And so anybody who thinks that this is going to lead to some creative utopia for creators to be able to do more and be able to get things done faster, yeah, let's see where it is in about 10 years. Let's see who has access to the top tools. Let's see what those terms of service look like as each of these iterations go. Because I'm pretty sure that what people are able to do now without much oversight and without having to worry about paying all that much money, you know that's not going to last. And when it doesn't, who will be left in control of these things? It's not going to be the creators. It's not going to be the people doing the actual work. It's not going to be the game developers. It's going to be the publishers, the large companies who think that the only thing that there is a priority on getting right, it's not going to be creativity. It's not going to be on customer satisfaction, quality control, producing a game that's innovative and new and interesting and takes new approaches to how you can play and interact and create new forms of entertainment. No, it's going to be, okay, how many people can we cut to use this tool to just generate whatever is popular right now so that we can crank out another game every 6 months and just assume that people are going to buy it? And if they do, then we can start cranking up the price. And that means we can afford better tools to get rid of more people. So do I think that most people playing video games care about AI? I think right now they probably won't, but I think in the future when they realize that the games become even more bland and repetitive and boring, I think at that point they might start to care, but also it's probably going to be too little, too late later.